Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm excited to present with Veritas Crane and walk you all through the training services we've been able to work together to provide. At any point during the webinar, feel free to ask any questions. We'll be glad to address those as we go. So we'll get started with a quick overview of our organization at Learn or Teach, as well as Veritas Crane and a little bit about what they do. And then we'll dive deep into the product demonstration and the courses we put together. So to get started, I will explain what Learn or Teach is about, and we'll talk a little bit about Veritas Crane as well. So Learn or Teach is a corporate training provider, and we create custom courses. We recognize that your business is in the business of providing service to your customers, and you might not necessarily be training experts. So we come in, and our purpose is to make life easy for you. So we create the training content, and then we also provide you a learning management system to manage and deliver training. So that's exactly what we did with the Veritas Crane team. They specialize in mobile crane training and CDL training. So we came to one of their in-person training events, recorded footage of their training, worked with some print material that they had, PowerPoint slides, edited all that information and made sure they were clear of any liability for any content they were using, and redid a bunch of images for crane safety and such, and put it together into a course that we'll show you today. So fast forward to today, we now have just gone live with an online platform, and we'll be proceeding to get users on there to interact with the material and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to give you that background before we dive into a little bit more about Veritas Crane here. And as I said earlier, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So Al, do you mind giving a little more detail than the overview that I gave of what the team at Veritas Crane specializes in? And I'll be checking the chat here, or questions or comments, just to keep those going as we go. You might be muted, Al. So while Al is figuring out the audio on his end, I can just walk us through the website here. So this is Veritas Crane's website. So diving a little bit into their offerings on crane training, they offer mobile crane training, power crane training, overhead cranes, signal person and rigger training, and we specifically focused on their most popular training module as far as crane training is related, and that's the signal person or rigger safety training. So as I mentioned, it covers a lot of OSHA training requirements. They had physical print material that we took and redesigned, and we coupled that with video footage and really try to make the content types engaging and different, just so a learner going through it would have a rich learning experience. So as next steps, we'll be focusing on all these other crane training types and producing virtual training for that as well. So just to give you a picture, folks would come into their center and they would have a whole day of in-person training, and then they would come again for maybe another day of the same, and they would have typically 2 to 3 days of practical the in-person training, and then also they'll do the practical training. So this whole exercise would take pretty much a full week. But what we've been able to do is to provide a self-paced option that allows learners to engage with this content way ahead of time on their own schedule. So really the time that's taken off of work to do the practical training is much, much less. So training that used to take a whole week to complete now may take, hey, here's the self-paced training, go over it at your own pace. We'll maybe compensate you for your time in such a manner, but you only will take days off of work to go to the in-person portion. And so that made things a lot more efficient. Now, as for the CDO training, as you can imagine, a lot of businesses are looking for drivers for trucks, and that has proved to be a problem. So with CDO training, they can take either folks with no prior background at all in driving trucks, and really start from the ground up. And so this would be, and right now it's a combination, as I mentioned earlier, similar to the Crane training, of virtual training and also in-person practical training. So if you have any such needs, or if any ideas have come through of things you could work together on as far as these types of training, or any training we could create for you at Learn or Teach, similar like we did for Veritas Crane, we'd be glad to have the conversation. As I mentioned earlier, feel free to comment in the chat. I can take a minute to see if anything has been posted, but I think we should be in good shape. But yeah, if you have any questions as we go ahead and bring those up and we'll address them. So the next thing I would like to present on is Learn or Teach. And I kind of gave you an overview at the beginning, but I've got some slides here that we can go through to give you a better picture. So as I mentioned, Learn or Teach is a corporate training company, and we really are looking to simplify how you train your employees at your organization or partners. How do we do that? Well, our team does everything from A to Z. So maybe I should just give you an overview of what's to come. So I'll start by giving a company overview, and then we'll talk about the product and why you should work with our team. So I mentioned we specialize in corporate training. So we're not trying to, have a one size fits all mentality of, dabbling in all kinds of different training content. We really just focus on training for businesses, and also the recognition that your organization is unique. You have processes, you have technical things that are unique to your company alone. So we provide custom creation services, whether it be video editing, graphic editing, voiceover artists, you name it. We recognize that it takes a lot of effort on your part to have all these relationships with all these individual specialists. So we come and we bring those relationships to the table, and we say, just give us the needs of your project, and we will handle those negotiations and work with our own internal team and all the variety of specialists that it takes to put together engaging content. So that's instructional design experts, graphic design experts, video editors, voiceover artists, you name it. In addition, we recognize that really it takes more than just great content to actually be able to offer it to your end users. It actually takes a software platform that can house your content, can help you manage users, and do that all in a very simple way. So we built our own learning management system that allows us to really make changes quickly on the fly. So as you give us feedback for features that you'd like to see, would quickly implement those, and really make training streamlined for you. So I mentioned that we really are a one-stop training shop, meaning we take care of all your content creation needs. Hey, I've got old PowerPoints that need to be edited. Hey, we did a webinar and we have videos that we'd like you to cut up into smaller pieces and turn into a course. Hey, I have this print material that is really boring and hard to look at. Can you make it into easier to consume material? Hey, I have somebody who's been at my company for 40 years and they're about to leave, and I don't want to start from scratch to get all that information to the rest of my team. You name it, we can help. Another thing we can help with is ongoing management. So you might say, you know what, this all sounds fantastic, but I don't have anybody who's a specialist in learning technology. I don't want to manage this platform. That's where we step in and would say, we will manage this environment for you. Every month, if you need to edit content, we'll go on and do that. If you add users, we go on and do that for you as well. All of this in a cost-effective manner. So why should you work with us? First, we have a very easy to use platform. Second, we really consider the uniqueness of your organization and make custom courses that are well tailored to exactly what you want. Third, our training service really takes you from A to Z. First, understanding the needs of your learners, creating content that addresses that need, delivering it, getting reporting that shows if heaven forbid you have an accident, you can be able to prove that, hey, we did the safety training we're supposed to do. Superior customer service. You can, at a call or an email or a chat, you can reach our team and immediately would respond to whatever your needs are. I wanted to highlight as well, we can set you up with a free trial, no credit card required, no commitments on your end. You can meet with any of our team experts. If maybe you just have some idea you want to bounce off of them regarding training, we can help you set up your own environment so we don't just leave you out to dry. And we give you free training just to get yourself in a position where you're ready to use the system. So I'll skip over to a demo of the actual product. So I'll start with showing you the administrator side of things, and then I'll also show you the learner side of things. But before I do that, I'll go ahead and just show you our website. So right on our website, you always find out information about our upcoming webinars right on this banner over here. At any point in time, you can request a demo from us, or you can request us to make a course for you. You can chat with our team over in this corner over here. So in your own time, I'll let you go through the website, but really in a nutshell, everything you need should be on here. Some information about our plans, if you want to get in touch with us, some frequently asked questions, and then we publish blog articles that touch on different things regarding training. So this is the administrator account. This is where all your content is added to the platform. Again, I just want to highlight again, if you have questions at any time, feel free to ask. So on this administrator platform, once you log in, and I should clarify who the administrators are. So this could be anyone in HR or any of your training coordinators. So once you log into the platform, you can quickly pick whether you want to request a custom course, or whether you want to create your own course from scratch, or whether you want to add a new user, or whether you want to add a whole group of users. I see there's a question that just came in, so I can take a pause and answer that. The question is, what is your business model, RE pricing, and value on investment for your customers? Do you have published validated outcomes related to your product? Thank you for the question. So our pricing is based on a per user model, and you can either have pricing on a monthly basis or on an annual basis. The pricing is dependent on the number of users that you have. So if you reach out to me immediately after the meeting, I can send you a pricing proposal. Just let me know how many users you have and whether you are open to doing a month-to-month approach or an annual approach. If it comes to with respect to creating content, that's also on a project basis. So different projects, some might require editing footage, which is a little more involving. Some might just have PowerPoints that need to be edited in a much easier way. So that also, the cost to make a course depends on the scope that you have. But we're very responsive. We'll give you pricing same day. We just ask a few questions, and once we have those answers, we'll send you a pricing proposal, and we're very flexible as well. And I'm really looking to solve a problem for you, and would work with you on the budget side of things. And as far as customers that we've worked with, how many customers do we have now? How many do you anticipate in December 2023? So just to give you an idea, on a weekly basis, I do an average of like 5 to 10 demos. So that means, and so these are demonstrations for people that are really looking forward to move with our product. So I would say every month we sign on. I'm expecting in 2023 to sign on anything from at least 2 to 3 new customers every week. So that might put us as, maybe let's just be conservative, at least 5 or so new customers every month. And I should clarify, these 5 customers are large organizations. So for instance, in fact, I have 2 calls later today and 1 tomorrow with the construction company. One is a company that has about 40 different sites, and they need help with safety training. So would be going, and at each site they have anywhere from 20 to 100 employees working on each of those sites. So you can imagine that's just one client and rolling it out for them. You asked about a previous client we've worked with. We're working with a physical security company. I didn't get approval to mention their name, but I'll just describe them. They make door access control, cameras, etc. And they have about 3,000 employees, and we're handling training for all the employees. And they have 4,000 reseller partners. So 4,000 companies selling their product that do sales training, and we're providing training for them as well. So those are some thoughts that we have there. And as far as measuring, there was another question about measuring customer experience and satisfaction monthly. We keep open lines of communication. So really they can give us a call at any time. At the end of our courses, they can give star ratings of how the experience was like. So really, I think an open-ended process, communication of them talking to us and us reaching out to them are some of the key factors in making us successful. But thank you for those questions. So really moving on, just so I can stay on track here and be respectful of your time. Right on, as you log on, you can see some quick statistics on courses in progress or courses that have been completed. So right at a quick glance, we wanted you to understand what's going on in your account. Everything starts with creating courses, right? Now, we made this extremely simple. As I mentioned, you can talk to us if you want us to create a course for you, so you can get a custom course, at which point you fill in a quick form that mentions the different things that you want. Or you can create your own course, and in your own course you go step by step, putting different content in. So this is the course that we made for Veritas Crane, and I know, Al, I think you were trying to get your microphone working on your end. Just chime in at any point if you're ready to go.
Yeah, but I got it, Clever.
Oh, you're good to go? Okay.
Yeah,
from kind of what I was saying, is there anything else that you think that I missed before I go through the course that we worked on together here?
No, I think that sums it up. We the whole course setup structure that you did for us kind of started what our basic training was the rigger signal person, and then from there, we're going to be working in the future for CDL training, some of our product and sales, lubricants, hoists, and then also some of our safety and consulting areas that we're going to get into. So yeah, this was kind of a good start for us, and we are working on hopefully launching our Spanish version of the rigging and signal person training. We've been having a lot of people asking about that, and so we've been working on that for a while with one of our partners down in Mexico, and we're going to be able to get a Spanish version of this same rigging signal person training, hopefully up and running here in the next few months.
That sounds fantastic. Al, maybe you could speak a little bit to some of the customers you've worked with in North Dakota and beyond, and why a web-based training like this is a game changer for saving them time, cost, etc.
Yeah, so we, on the construction side of things, when there's training needed, usually from our standpoint, we need a large enough audience to make it cost effective. And a lot of the contractors didn't want to bring their whole crews from out of the field because it didn't make sense to them financially. And so by allowing you, when you put this whole online rigger training course together, we were able to do training one-on-one at their convenience, at their time frame. So we didn't need to take everyone out of the field. They could schedule training for all of their employees on a routine basis, one at a time, or have a couple of them at a time, or just have them do it at home, any place they have a computer or even a phone. So it really gave them the flexibility to do their training whenever they needed it without tying up their entire crew and causing them to have a lack of income because their crew is in training rather than out in the field making money.
That sounds awesome. Earlier on, one of the folks had asked about the return on investment on making content like this versus basically just exactly that. Maybe you could touch on, maybe in the years to come, the return on investment that you might expect that a web-based training like this will provide for your business.
So we, and I think a lot of people can attest to it, there's a lot of work out there. There's a lot of specific company training or user training that we're doing. And OSHA and a lot of the others are requiring a lot of the regular training programs, rigging qualification, all your crane operator training, that type of thing. And so we're able to offer this somewhat behind the scenes, so that the convenience option is there for all the contractors, but we still are going out in the field or going to certain manufacturing companies and doing the one-on-one training, which is site specific. So it's freeing us up to do more one-on-one training with all of our customers.
That's awesome. Thanks, Al, for chiming in. So I'm gonna just walk through the content here that we have, and at any point in time, I'll just feel free to stop me if you got an extra thing to add. But really, as you can see right here on the landing page of the course, we have a description of what the course entails, a beautiful picture of one of our associates here, and then we have a promo video. So it's a quick 1-minute video that you can utilize over social media, and it's on YouTube, etc., that touches on the objectives of the course. So really putting all that together is very simple. That's the first step, the overview, which is really the landing page of your course. This is the title, the category, and then within a category, what's the specific subject. So it's crane training, and then this is rigging and signal operator. So every other crane training course that we'll make will fall under this category. And you add your description and some objectives that you can showcase, and here's the video link. So again, you don't need a PhD in training to produce this. Then the next thing is just your modules. We allow you to rearrange them in any order that you want by just a simple drag and drop. You can edit the name of it or the content in it by just clicking, so it expands and it shows you the content that's under each. We took a lot of care to make sure even the presentation made sense. So once you get in here, maybe you just want a quick preview of the content in each. You can quickly see it over here, or a quick preview of a video over there as well. You can do that as well. Or if you want to edit any existing content, you can go in here, but it looks like you don't really need to do anything here, so you're fine with it as it is. There you go. Adding lessons is as simple as just clicking this button, and you can pick what kinds of lessons you want to add. This option, this view that we made, again, simplifies things. We consolidated text, video, audio, and attachment lesson types into one. So you can pick that, and within that be able to put the different content types. Or if you wanted to create assessments, you can choose create new from this, for instance, and as you add your questions, you can choose, do I want to go with multiple choice or true or false? So most of the questions within this course are all self-graded, so you don't need to take a lot of time going in and manually grading everything. We do give you the option of manually grading if you wish, but really we try to make things streamlined so that it's just a ready, set, go kind of a thing without too much manual processing. There's an accordion format similar to what you saw when I clicked on the modules when they were expanding. That just forces the learner to interact with the screen and breaks the monotony of the content as you go. Al, do you have anything to add on the modules that we put together over here?
No, I think they're fine. If you don't mind, I'm going to answer one of the questions that just came in.
Yeah, go ahead.
On the first, we obviously use our local safety council as well as those from other states. But the biggest benefit is most safety councils just follow certain guidelines, whether it's OSHA or whatever. In the past and in my whole career, you get the same training throughout. You can't, there's not the flexibility that we received using LearnerTeach. A lot of our training programs that we do in person, we utilize all the benefits of each and every different facility. So that whether it's NCCO, ASME, we're able to take what we feel is the important topics from all of those and kind of customize our training program. So it's just not site specific, which we've seen from a lot of the safety councils. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying that after you've been in the field and in things that to add and safety councils add or delete them. So doing that.
That sounds good. It broke off towards the end there, but I think the gist of what you were saying, Al, is just the ability to customize the different topics to match exactly what a specific client needs or is looking for, correct? Do you capture that?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for answering that. So really now, you created the landing page of your course. You added all your modules. You can add any kind of lesson type. You can add questions, multiple choice, true or false, or if you want, manually graded questions as well. So now your content has been put together. Now you're ready to offer to users. That's where the audience aspect comes in. So we put some thinking into this and recognize that for companies of different sizes have different problems. If you're a large company, you don't want to go one by one to each user and assign content. But in some cases you might want to, so we still gave you the option. But what we also did is we allowed you to group users into groups and subgroups. So in this case, I haven't particularly added a subgroup, but you can add them into groups as you add them into your system. And even I'll show you on the user side of things how you can bulk add users. But as you do that, it allows you to be able to assign content to a specific user type. So anybody that will join with that group name would be assigned that piece of content. So that's where it's valuable. Like, let's say any rigger that you hire at your company, once they're added to this system, they'll be given that same course and you don't have to manually do it every single time. So that's one of the big advantages there of utilizing the audience features of grouping users into groups and subgroups. So you've got that set. If you wanted to sell the course, you could put a price to it and be able to sell it. You can put a minimum percentage that you want them to attain on the assessments to consider this a pass, otherwise they'd have to redo. You can choose to have this scheduled or self-paced. Self-paced, again, obviously they're going through it at their own pace and or whatever, you don't have a specific date when it needs to be done by, or if it's urgent and you need it done in a week or two, you can set that as well. You can give them some preview on how long you think it would take for them. And you can actually give assessments if you want ahead of taking the course. So let's say I want to measure their knowledge of this subject before they take this course. I'll give them a pre-test. And then at the end, after they've gone through, you also want them to take the same pre-test so you can see what their level of understanding is. So you don't have to utilize every single feature, but we really try to think ahead and think of things that would be important to you as you are assessing your learners. So really, in a nutshell, that's it. And I've gone through all this work putting this course together. So let's say I'm trying to make another one. I don't need to go do everything from scratch. I can simply click clone and just go edit some of the components that I need to change. So that too is a time saver. Al, is there anything else that comes to mind as to putting content together here? And you might be muted. And I'll check the questions here while we're waiting. I think we're good. Okay. I have a question here. I'm not sure I quite understand it, but let me try to give it a shot. Sounds like you impact one's culture of safety requirements company-wide, importantly in the field. I guess that was a compliment. Thank you. So now looking at knowledge checks. So we also recognized, sometimes you might not have the time for someone to spend, 10 hours going through a course, or 5 hours or 2 hours or an hour. You just want to give them a quick assessment. So that's what knowledge checks are for. So with a knowledge check, you can hop in, answer questions, true or false or manually graded, and that's all you have to do. And that's similar to the course as far as putting it together. You give it a name, a description, a minimum passing score. You add the different questions on here. If you want to reorder them, you can drag and drop. After that, you give it an audience. Who do you want to take the specific course? And after you do that, you can grade them. But in this case, none of these learners have taken this just as yet. So the grading is not yet available. You can choose whether you want them to see the results of the quiz after they are done or not. So that's really the knowledge check aspect. So now we talked also about adding users. You can do it one by one, or you can bulk add them using a CSV. So it gives you a sample of the fields that it wants you to use, and boom, you can add them. We can also work with you to add them programmatically. That's by API access. So maybe anyone that comes into your company is added to your HR system, then gets access to the training module. So I know we're coming up against time, so I'll try to just wrap up things, but we also have a reporting section where you can look at reports for each course, or you can look at reports for by knowledge checks. So in this case, none of the learners have really gone through yet, so there's not as much information. There's some settings that you can change on here if you wanted to, but this is just general information about your account itself. So really skipping on to the learner, where I'll spend just a few more minutes before I give you back your time here for the day. So we really wanted to make the learner process as simple as possible. We recognize that your learners, some of them might not have as much extensive experience with online portals, so we needed to make this as simple as possible. We literally have just only 2 tabs. They simply cannot get lost. They come in here, they click on start courses, it'll take them to their courses. Right in here, I can see all the courses that I'm currently that I have in progress. I can see courses that are assigned to me. I can see courses that I've completed. So in this case, I have the rigging and signal person course assigned to me. So I can click start, and here's all my content. As I complete each, this box will be checked. And then at the end, after I complete it, I get my certificate. So this, if you remember, we talked about the landing page for the course. This is how it then is shown. Looks very beautiful. I can see clearly what my objectives are, who my instructor is, the description of this course. And I can click next to see the next piece of content. So it gives me, it gives me an overview of what I can expect in the module. And then here I can view a PDF and continue, etc. If I go back to my learning, now I see the course is in progress. So next time I come, it'll be right here waiting for me. As for knowledge checks, they're right here. I can see all of them assigned to me. These are just standalone questions. They're not associated with the course. So once I hit start, it tells me, hey, I've got 30 questions. I've got X amount of time to do it. Looks like this one doesn't have a particular due date, so I'm good. Once I hit start, now I'm going through all the questions, et cetera, et cetera. So that's it there. So again, it's extremely simple. I log in here. If I click start courses, it takes me where I need to go. Or if I click on any of these icons, it takes me where I need to go. If I click on this, it takes me there again. So you're never going to have users emailing you, phoning you, saying, hey, I don't know how to get to my course. I can't see it. If they don't like this fancy little thing we put over there for you, they can get rid of it. And again, simply just look at their dashboard in this manner. So I'm really proud of just how simple we worked to get things going. This is a library where they can see more course options as well. Again, right from here, they can get to their course. So this really sums up the A to Z process of, we can work with your organization to put together content for your employees. And specifically in the case of Veritas Crane, we can work with them to produce any safety training content that you might need for your construction, mining sites, etc. So if there's any other trainings maybe that are not quite similar to what we produce here that you have in mind, reach out to us. I'll get in touch with Al and would be very happy to help you. Let me see here. We might have a question that came in. Al, do you have any thought before we sort of start to wrap up here?
No, I think you did a good job of overviewing it. And like I said, if someone's got specific questions, so we're not wasting a lot of time, we're certainly open for any questions or comments.
Okay, there's one that came in here. It says, do learners have to achieve a score of 80% or higher in order to get HR certificate of completion? This is totally up to you as far as what score you want them to achieve. So really, you set up for some organizations, maybe if it's safety, you can't take as much risks and you need them to be able to know the answer to every single question. So you can set it at 100%. If it's something that's more, you can have you can be a little more lax about it. You can set it at 70, 50, 60. Typically our default is 70% for a passing grade. But that was a great question. Thank you. I'm curious to know, maybe here, just as we wrap up in the next minute, if you all, what trainings you have in mind that you think you might need at your organizations for the rest of the year. And while you're maybe responding to that, I can provide you, I can go back to a website and show you a page with our contact information. So you can give us a call, email us, chat with us, etc. if anything comes to mind after this. So right here on our learnerteach.com, on the contact us tab, you can get in touch with us right away as well. But maybe I'll wait for one more minute and see if we have any more questions before we call it a day here. But thank you so much for your time this afternoon. And again, I should clarify, if you want to get in touch with the Veritas Crane team as well, right on their page, they have their contact information for you right there as well. Okay. I think we're good in the question department. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time today. I'll have a recording of this webinar and I'll send it out to everybody. So if you've got some folks, friends, or associates at your company that you think would benefit from this conversation as well, we'll be glad to send it to them. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.